Hello everyone, I'm Rachke and today we're checking out a mouse I first heard about from you guys. A bunch of you mentioned the Attack Shark X3 down in the comments under previous videos, so I decided to grab one myself and see what the hype's about. If there's something else you want me to test next, drop it down in the comments. I really do read everything you send. So, the Attack Shark X3, small, wireless, and from what I can already tell, maybe a lot better than it sounds. The Attack Shark X3 sits in the sweet spot, a budget wireless mouse that tries to look and feel like something twice its price. The cost varies a bit depending on where you buy it. On Temu it was just under 40 bucks, I grabbed mine locally for about 35 and on their official site it's listed at 32, so roughly around 30 bucks in total. So yeah, definitely low budget, but on paper it seems to promise a lot more than it should for the price. Design wise it looks very familiar, basically a Logitech G Pro X Superlight, cloned with a different logo on top, and that's not a coincidence. This is a white label product which the Kisona M600 confirms. It's literally the same mouse with identical software. We'll talk about what the white label thing means later in the video, but for now, specs like the PixArt 3395 sensor, RGB lighting, and even Bluetooth support, I honestly expected chaos, but the moment I unboxed it, nothing creaked, nothing flexed, the shell feels solid, no hollow sound when you press it, and overall it's way sturdier than I thought it would be for this price point. Sure, the coating feels a bit on cheaper side, but ignoring that, the build quality is honestly way above what I expected. After a few days of daily use, I've got to say the Attack Shark X3 feels better than I expected first touch. The shell stays solid even after hours of use. No creaking, no flex, none of that hollow noise you usually get with cheaper mice. The biggest thing I noticed is the surface texture. It's got that rubberized coating that feels nice and soft at first, but once your hands warm up a bit, it starts to feel a little sticky. Nothing dramatic, just something you notice during long sessions. Luckily, the grip tape that comes in the box completely fixed that. It gives you a much better hold, prevents slipping, and honestly makes the mouse feel more premium than the price would suggest. I've seen listing without the grip tape, which probably means there's a cheaper version out there, but if you can grab the full kit, it's worth it. And if not, the tape can always be bought separately. The clicks are surprisingly sharp and consistent, no wobble, no mush, and even when you squeeze the shell hard, there's no cracking or flexing. So yeah, it's not a premium mouse, but it's surprisingly solid and feels like it could last longer than you would expect from something at this price range. Here's where you can really tell where the cost cutting happened. The stock skates or default skates. Honestly, they are not great. They feel slow, the edges aren't well rounded, and when you make faster swipes, it's like they catch on the mouse pad instead of gliding. On slower control pads, that's not a huge deal. The movement still feels stable and accurate, but on faster, low friction surface, especially PTFE or hybrid pads, you can feel the extra jog almost immediately. It's not a deal breaker, but if you prefer that fast, smooth glide, definitely swap them out sooner rather than later. That's probably the biggest flaw out of the box, because honestly everything else works surprisingly well. Now about the sensor, the PixArt 3395, the same one used in mice that cost 2 or even 3 times more. Out of the box though, mine wasn't perfect. There were small hitches, tiny stutters, nothing major, but enough to notice something wasn't quite right. Then I did a bit of digging online and found out that the Kisona M600 uses the exact same sensor and software. So I downloaded their program, flashed a firmware update, and suddenly it was like using a different mouse. Smooth, accurate, flawless tracking. That software literally saved it. Without firmware update, the X3 feels like an average budget mouse, but once you tweak it, it performs like something twice its price. It's another reminder that this really is a white label product, but if you know how to set it up properly, you're getting performance you would never expect for this price. If there's one thing that really surprised me about the Attack Shark X3, it's the clicks. Click mechanism feels way better than you would expect. The travel is short, the return is snappy, and there's none of that soft, mushy feel you usually get with cheaper mice. Clicks are crisp and tactile, just loud enough to give feedback but not so loud that they would bother you if you are gaming late at night. No pre-travel, no wobble, everything feels tight and stable, almost like on mice that cost twice as much. Both main buttons have a small comfort groove that your fingers naturally fall into. A tiny detail, but it makes a real difference. Even when you squeeze it, the shell, there's no flex or cracking at all, which is honestly rare in this price range. The side buttons were another nice surprise. They sit a bit higher than what I'm used to, but they're easy to reach and do not need any adjustment time. Actuation feels just right, not too stiff, not too soft. They've got this smooth, glossy finish that actually makes them feel higher quality than they are. We'll see how that holds up over time, but for now, no wobble, no looseness, no complaints. The scroll wheel uses a TTC gold encoder, nothing fancy here, but it's accurate and has clearly defined steps. It's a bit on the louder side, but personally I like that. It gives me a better sense of control. And overall the clicks and scroll are way better than you would expect for this price. No rattle, no creaks, it just works the way it should. The Attack Shark X3 is advertised as an ultralight. 49 grams, which sounds awesome, but when I actually put it on the scale, it came out a bit higher, just over 50 grams, actually 55. Not a huge difference, but if you're detail obsessed like me, you'll notice right away. What's more interesting is the balance. It's slightly front heavy, especially if you play with a fingertip grip or hold the mouse closer to the back. It's not a major issue, it doesn't pull forward or feel awkward, but the balance definitely isn't perfect. In real use though, it's barely noticeable. It's still light, responsive and easy to move around for long sessions without any fatigue. If you're switching from a heavier mouse, it's going to feel like you just took the weights out of your hand. So no, it's not exactly 49 grams like the marketing says, but even at just over 50, it's still firmly the lightweight category. When it comes to shape, the Attack Shark X3 is smaller than it looks in photos or videos. It has a compact rounded shell that fits nicely in the hand, not uncomfortable by any means, but if you're used to larger mice like I am, you will notice the difference immediately. I used something between a claw and palm grip, and at first it felt a bit cramped during the first few hours. Before this, I was using the Logitech Grip Pro and Harpy 2S, and the X3 is smaller than both, especially in length and base width. Because of that, I think it will fit best for players with smaller hands, on those who use a pure claw grip. The shape itself is simple, no sharp edges, no weird angles. The back curve sits nicely under your palm, and overall the ergonomics are generally solid. If you like compact mice, this one will probably feel great right away. For me, it took a day or two to adjust, but once it did, it felt natural in the hand. That said, if I had to pick my perfect shape, the Harpy 2A still gives me a slightly fuller grip and more stable feel. And now, when you see a price tag, you are not really expecting any extra features, right? But the Attack Shark X3 actually surprised me here. Besides the standard 2.4 GHz wireless mode, it also has a Bluetooth support, which is something you almost never see or get in this price tag. You can pair it with a laptop, tablet or even a phone, no software, no setup, it just connects and works. In the box you get usually USB dongle, but no extender. During test I used the one from my Harpy 2 Ace because when the dongle is plugged directly into the PC case, the signal can get a bit weaker. Once I used the extender though, the connection was rock solid, no dropouts even with fast movements. Honestly, I've seen this happen with other mice too, so if you're planning to buy this one, grab a cheaper USB extender while you are at it. It's a small thing, but it can save you a lot of frustration later. As for the battery life, I did not manage to drain it completely, but after a few charge cycles, it seems to last about a week or active use, which is solid for such a light mouse. It charges quickly over standard USB-C. And the software, as I mentioned earlier, is taken straight from the Kisona M600, and honestly, it saves the whole experience. You can adjust DPI, polling rate, RGB, macros, all the usual stuff, and it works perfectly. It's not the prettiest software out there, but functionally it's a solid 10 out of 10. So, when you put it all together, 2.4 wireless, Bluetooth, decent battery life and full software control, firmware update, the Attack Shark X3 delivers way more than I ever expected at this price. The Attack Shark X3 honestly surprised me so much that I've kept it on my desk and still use it daily in our workshop. But we need to talk about one thing: white label products. I'm not their biggest fan, and here's why. Officially, you get 1 year warranty, but let's be honest, I wouldn't rely on that too much. Most budget devices I've tested over the years, and there have been plenty, broke within 2 years. For comparison, my Logitech G Pro has been going strong for 6 years straight. So, if you keep buying a cheap mouse every couple of years, you will end up spending the same amount of money as you would just buy one proper well-built model from the start. The main issue with white label gear is the lack of quality control. Big brands at least have some internal testing and warranty replacements. Here, you often do not. One unit might be perfect like this, the next one could die after a month. And still, for around 30 bucks, the TechShark X3 offers more than I expected. Is it a full polished product? Not really. It still feels a bit beta, like something that's almost there but not quite finished. But if you need a lightweight wireless mouse for work, editing or some casual gaming, this is genuinely fair deal. Just be aware, there's no magic at this price point. You're getting a great start, but not long-term reliability. So, if you decide to pick up the TechShark X3, do it smart and keep your expectation realistic.